Hi all and welcome to Watching Time. I'm going to be talking today about a brand that I think it's quite fascinating. It's a micro brand, quite interesting. They are presenting things that are quite unique for, especially for the world of micro brands. They are bringing something that really separates them for what microbrands are usually tend to do, which is just copy and homage, and they are actually bringing a piece of design. I was lucky enough to meet with them in Paris, so I met actually with Jerome Bourger. He's the main designer. We had a nice chat, a beer. He is one of the main developers on the design of the watches, and it was really interesting to have this chat around the watches, the design, why they're doing what they're doing, and what they're trying to be bringing. Obviously, in 2020, the day they launched their first watch, it is difficult to come out with something that it's totally different. And brands that try to do that, they actually go sometimes borderline into the grotesque or the non-practical or the non-usable watches. So there's always an inspiration, and it's probably correct at this point that we go around it and work from there. So what is Serica actually bringing that it's new? They are bringing designs on the bezel, on the symmetry, on the way pieces are put together that are actually going to make a lot of sense when you see it from the outside, and are actually going to be bringing a piece of history behind that. I think that is their stronger point. This is a military watch, this is a tool watch, this is designed to be your everyday piece if you want to bang it and use it as wherever you want, and it works. So this is the first model that they launched in their line. They started with the Field Watch, the 4512, and they launched it with initially it was a 100 meters resistance plexidome. It was obviously Swiss made, but it had a little less of characteristics, one dial. Today you will find that they have three dials: the Commando, this, the California, and they are also having a third one, which is obviously reminds you a lot of military watches, which is the classic field watch, the WMB. This is the way they call it, and the dial is the classical one with the Arabic numbers that go from 12 in the outer ring, and in the inner ring you have the 24 hours. So quite useful, quite military-esque. Definitely reminds you of a use in a property probably of military. And this second version, they improve obviously the glass. Now it's sapphire. They have an STP 111 mechanical movement inside most of the time, but they also use the Sopro 24 mechanical. I decided to go for the California dial. Really, that was the one that touched me the best, because the other military dials, I see them as more common. You will find a lot of khaki fields that have that dial. They fill out too much the dial for my taste. The California, I know that many of you people, you either love it or you either hate it. But let's look exactly what it brings and how it was born, because it was born in 1920s by the military. It was an error-proof dial for them in the USA, because it was just easier to distinguish what you were looking in an instant, because in the top side you had the Roman numbers, and it was quite straightforward and immediate. In the bottom one you have the Arabic numbers, and you immediately could not miss what you were seeing in any position that you were actually seeing it. So it became quite easier at that point, and that's how the California dial is born in the USA, obviously, and it is taken back here in this new Serica. So the case, it's a small military kind of size case. This is a 37.7, 11.3, 20 millimeters strap watch. It is probably the perfect size. I tend to wear bigger watches, probably because of the diameter of the dial here, which takes a lot of the space of the watch. I can actually wear it quite nicely in my 18.5 centimeters wrist, and it doesn't look as small as it actually is. So I think it works very, very well. As I was saying, this is a sapphire, double dome, 2 millimeter anti-reflective coated glass, and you have these big arrows inside with lume on the 12, 3, 6, and 9. The lume works great. The dial is not lume, so you will not see obviously the Roman or the Arabic numbers lume, but the lume that is being used works quite nice at night, and the use of the big arrow, and this is also a 200-meter waterproof watch with a screw down crown, works just perfect. Either side you can actually choose to have a left-handed or a right-handed. I went for the left. This is a military watch. It is supposed to be practical. It is supposed to be something easy to use, and having that at the left side, it's actually quite much more comfortable. So let's go back to Serica. As I was saying, from 2020 and their first release on the Field Watch, they have actually released other two models. A diver, which is, I think, fantastic in terms of design. Very nice strap. Is the 5303. That's the name that it has. They are relaunching it, I think, this week. So on the yes, actually tomorrow. They are going to be relaunching it tomorrow on the 21st of April, and then they have a GMT chronometry model, which is very, very unique. Most people don't know that GMT has a black and white bezel, which is one single piece. It is like the Rolex GMT in the sense that the Pepsi, you know, it's a whole piece that actually transitions from blue to red, and in this case you have a whole piece that transitions from black to white. This is a very hard and difficult process of manufacture, and for the 1,600 euros that they ask for it, I think it's actually perfect. And you will see that if you go into details on the bezel, the ceramic transitions into kind of a brownish color between the black and the white, and that's why in their lollipop they reprise a brown color. The diver, the 5303, it has three fantastic colors: black dial and bezel, black and white, and a very nice black dial and light blue bezel. This light blue is not really a light blue. It is a quite unique color. You need to see it for yourself. They are relaunching it, and it is 100% Swiss made, and a watch that is quite unique. So unique that the Chinese have actually copied it. It is one of the micro brands that they have actually replicated. And this is a lot to tell for a watch brand like Serica. So let's go back to the Field Watch. Story-wise, I really love what they're doing. They have this very small atelier in Paris. Drop by if you have the chance. You will have a nice chat with the owners. And the watch, it's just fantastic in its simplicity. But I think one of the pieces that design that this watch brought back to me on the history that I knew obviously on watches, and one of the reasons that I said I have to have it, this is the first one that I have to have from them, it is actually the strap. Guys, I don't know how many of you know what this strap is. If you know a little bit about watches, this is a Bonklip. This is the name that usually it's recognized for this type of watch. And the reason for that is because you have kind of stainless steel clips, as you can see. These are usually hand bent in actually to fit this kind of rectangular ring that unifies the strap. The characteristic of these straps is that, as you can see, the two pieces become almost one, and it becomes kind of a bracelet NATO metallic strap. You don't need to size this. Whenever you're going to be wearing this, you just put it and you just pull the strap very easily, and you will size it as you wear it. So this is a practical strap. This is a strap that works excellent for a field watch, for a military watch. And when was this strap born? 1929, and it was actually born in the USA. This was done by Walter Kremens, and the USA patent, let's put it that way, kind of died in history, and it was immediately, I wouldn't say copied because they didn't actually copy it, but a similar design was launched in the UK in 1930 by Dudley Russell Howlett, and he is the one that actually made the Bonklip name recognized. So much that other bracelet brands at the time started producing it. And the reason for that is that in the UK, this strap became part of the standard straps used by the military air force because of the simplicity of usage, the fact that it was stainless steel, the transpirability. You know, it's something that you can sweat, you can go into water, and it will still work perfect, and it fits and wears very comfortable, and it's definitely very, very light. So it becomes famous in the UK, it becomes famous in Europe. World War II, pilots were using this, and brands in the 40s like Rolex actually implemented it in some of their watches. So I'm going to be having a little bit of a wrist shot here just for you guys to show you how the bracelet sits and how the size of 37.7 sits on my wrist. And you can see it's perfect. The fact that it's a left-handed watch, it is really comfortable. The big crown that this watch has is not going to be bothering me at all. And the way you size this, as you can see, you just pull the strap, you put the clip, and that's it. It is closed, and at that point you don't need to worry about it anymore. The bracelet is sized, you can go wherever you want and do whatever you want. This is one of the most comfortable straps I have seen in a while, and it's a pity because the Bonklip quite disappeared from radars around the 60s and has been dormant for almost 50 years, and you will not find it easily. Today you will find probably a couple of brands that actually do it again, and the reason for that is that even if at the time this was a bracelet that was quite easy to produce compared to others, nowadays it's much more difficult because part of the process to produce it you will need to be done by hand, and machinery cannot do it the way they do, for example, an oyster bracelet. So this is definitely a strap that takes a little bit more of time to produce, and most companies don't want to waste that time nowadays. But it is one of the most fun, most singular, and straps that I have seen for quite a while, and a piece of history that I think is important for everyone to know. And the guys in Serica brought it intentionally on this field watch, and I think that was probably the best decision they took when they were doing this field model. The design of the case is sweet, it is very, very nice. You have polish areas, you have areas that are matte. They work perfectly, and it's a watch that you can wear in any situation with a 37.7 millimeters case. It just works fantastic, and you can use it under a cuff, under a shirt, under a jacket, or you can use it just going exploring or in adventure. So what do you think, guys? What do you think of Serica? It is definitely a brand, and now it's on my radar. I would love to have one of their divers, and or the GMT, quite unique. Probably that would be one of the second pieces I would add. And definitely a micro brand that it's slowly growing, and it's bringing something new to the watch industry scenario. So this is excellent. Okay, see you guys in the next video. Hope that you like this review about the brand, the Bonklip, and this field excellent watch that Serica is producing. Until next video, please take care.